put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, Tobago. Good morning to our viewers listening on our varying platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and 102 on Amplia. We welcome you to Tobago Updates Youth Wednesdays. Your favorite youth host, yes, I'm taking that line from Dwayne, here to give you your vibe and your vigor for the rest of the week. I know that it's the first week of school and that you really do need that pep and that step for the midweek because you might be going down, but I'm here to bring it right back up, right? But before we go into our full youth and vibe, let's go into our News in 90 with Miss Joselle Dan.
Thank you, Natalia. Here's your news in 90 seconds for Wednesday, September 4th, 2024. The Innovative Democratic Alliance has called for transparency regarding the Tobago House of Assembly's proposed Torbay Beach Club project. IDA PRO Kate Trotman demanded full disclosure about the project scope, environmental impact, and the developers involved. She criticized the lack of meaningful consultation with the affected vendors and the wider community, raising concerns about the project's intentions and potential impacts. While acknowledging some discussions between the THA and the tenants, Trotman argued that the exclusionary process has heightened concerns, stressing that development should benefit everyone, not just a privileged few. Minority Leader Kelvin Morris expressed strong concerns about ongoing work during the school term, calling it unacceptable. He criticized the Secretary of the Division of Education, Research and Technology, suggesting that proper planning and resource allocation should have been done during the July-August vacation to avoid the current situation. Morris emphasized that some schools had no work done and questioned the division's priorities. He urged the Secretary to stop making excuses, stressing that education and children's futures should not be compromised, and expressed disappointment in the current handling of the situation. Tobagonian Alan Warner, along with his son and associates, have appealed the dismissal of the injunction application to retrieve heavy equipment and property seized during a police investigation to the mining operations. The appeal was discussed during a hearing where Justice Frank Sipersad scheduled future court dates. The original injunction was denied on August 21st, as some items had been returned, but others were retained as evidence in ongoing criminal proceedings. The group's lawsuit claims the police investigation is unlawful and seeks the return of the seized items and land. Justice Sipersad stressed that the investigation should not be interrupted and allow the companies to use parts of the land not under investigation, while the police can continue to probe other areas. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Joshelle, for that news in 90. And I want to officially bring Joshelle in as my co-host this morning. Good morning to you, Joshelle.
Good morning.
All right. Okay, so before we continue, let's go straight into our birthdays. We have 3 birthdays submitted today. Firstly, we have Devon Nancis. Happy birthday to you and God's blessings to you from the Tobago Updates family and of course the youths here at Youth Wednesdays. Next, we have Miss Trinell Martinio. Happy birthday to you. I hope that you do enjoy the entire of it. I hope that you get to do as much as you want to do on this day. Blessings to you on your birthday. And last but not least, Ms. Hyacinth Leander, happy birthday to you, and of course, blessings upon blessings. And that was it for our birthdays this morning. So to our viewers who may be celebrating birthdays today and did not get to submit in your pictures to be shown, I say happy birthday to you. And I hope that if it is that you have to go to school or you have to go to work through it, that you enjoy it and make the best of the day. If it is that you have to take that break time cake and that lunchtime ice cream, you do so. I really do hope that you enjoy your day. So Joshua, what is happening in this space? What's on the ground? I know your generation always into know. So what is happening?
Well, for all I know, it's back to school time. A lot of students have already began classes. So I just want to take this opportunity to wish you all best of luck for the start of the new school term. I know I've been hearing that some students were nervous on the first day, and I hope that you all have gotten over the nerves, and if not, that is okay. You're still getting acquainted with a new school. So that's basically what's happening now, back to school time.
I saw a lot of first day pictures from the younger ones, of course, because you know the older ones, like, they grow out of taking pictures for school and these type of things.
Yes.
Right. I saw a lot of pictures like that, a lot of people decently dressed. And I know we have to, well, we'll be addressing it more as we continue on throughout the program this morning, where there was a memorandum sent out from the Ministry of Education about here.
Yes.
No. So I know back in my day, not so long ago, there was an issue, you know, when boys don't cut their hair low and they don't take even markouts and stuff like that. There was even one instance, there was one instance where they took the young man and they took him to the barber and brought him back to school.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, it was very strict. But now we have a statement saying that locks and twists and weave and braids and these things are allowed. So what are your thoughts on this?
Well, being a Gen Z person, being a Gen Z girl, I think that, you know, you should allow students to express themselves creatively through their hairstyles. I know that some students can go a bit overboard sometimes and can go to extreme, and whilst I understand that it's important to teach students how to be disciplined and to follow rules, I think that, you know, this is a new generation. We have different types of students, and I think that it's time for us to revise some of these rules that were given to us and see it more so from the perspective of allowing students to be creative.
Right, and you mentioned creativity, but I just want to throw in there that I love how, you know, they're accepting the fact that Black people's hair might not be, it might not have the ability to slick back and these type of things, right? So when I saw the afro and the locks and the twists were allowed, I honestly, it was a positive direction that I see them going in for me.
Yes.
That is my opinion, just putting that out there. All right. So we spoke about some things from our rundown. I'll just take you through the rest of it. So first up, we would have Miss Sonia Phillips. She's the Dean of Academic Services. They'll be celebrating Literacy Day, and there might be a little something more in between. When we speak about Literacy Day, there's an extra. So we look forward to that interview. I'll be doing that interview myself. Ms. Joshelle Dan will be taking you through what is wrong with my hair with Abini Taylor, teacher at the Bishop's High School, and Janae Jones, past student, and also Miss Royan James, hairdresser. So we'll be able to hear from those young people today about their views on the topic, about what can be done. Right? So before I bid you adieu for this segment of the program, I ask you to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Are you an architect or draftsman looking to upgrade your skills, or a beginner eager to master essential tools? ReCAD Labs has the solution. Our Revit Architecture Fundamental Tobago course is designed to boost your skills and confidence. Running from October 6th to November 17th, this course includes a live session on November 17th for hands-on learning. Learn from experts in our virtual classroom and stay ahead in the world of architecture. Visit recadlabs.com to enroll now and follow us on social media for updates.
Stop. You don't have to sneak in. You don't have to sneak. Pigeon Point security, we have access pass. You don't have to sneak in.
What access pass is that? The new Pigeon Point Breaking Beach access card. With this card, you can get free access to Pigeon Point, a free umbrella, and a free chair. So make sure you get your Pigeon Point access card.
I can get that?
Definitely. This is your access card, so you can now go into Pigeon Point.
Okay. Guys, we outside in Pigeon Point, sun and we enjoying it with we access cards. All social media links to Youth Voice and Pigeon Point would be tagged, and stay tuned for it.
Attention all talented individuals and groups in Tobago. This is your moment to shine. Showcase your skills in music, dance or drama at Tobago Star Quest. Prelim auditions are held every Sunday across various communities throughout Tobago. Seize the chance to win exciting prizes and demonstrate your talent. For more details, visit our Instagram page at tobago.star.quest or email tobagostarquest@gmail.com. We look forward to seeing you there.
We party till we drop down there with a lot of pretty girls down there, down in Tobago.
I'm so relieved Javel gave me this money. Now I could enjoy the holidays with my family and not have to worry about monies for bags, books and shoes.
Javel? Who is Javel? She could give me some money too?
Javel is the July-August vacation education loan at Bethel Credit Union. Up to $20,000 to help with all additional expenses during this July-August.
Yes, you heard right. Call the Bethel Credit Union and ask for Javel. She'll hook you up with the money to take care of all your additional expenses this holiday season. Open to new members too. Get up to $20,000 and have a worry-free holiday with Javel. Call 639-8226 or 631-1336 or message us on Facebook for more information.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. And everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show. And everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning.
And we are back here on Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates. We start off our second segment with our first interview. I'd like to welcome Miss Sonia Phillips. She is the Dean of Academic Services of the Tobago of the THTI. Just let me welcome Miss Phillips. My apologies. Instead of Miss Phillips this morning, we'll be joined by Miss Chantal Melville. So I'd like to welcome her this morning. Right, we seem to be having some technical difficulties, so we'll just wait and I'll let you know about what the interview would be about this morning. So we have World Literacy Day coming up, and the THTI will be hosting these events surrounding this day, and I told you that there would be a special sweet treat, so they'll be celebrating International Chocolate Day as well. So I'll just welcome Miss Melville with us this morning here on Youth Wednesdays. Good morning to you, Miss Melville. Are you hearing us? Just let me know if you are hearing.
I'm now hearing you.
All right. So, good morning to you. How are you this morning?
Good morning, and I'm fine, thank you.
All right. So we have World Literacy Day coming up, and the THTI will be hosting a series of events. I was just briefing our viewers on what you have to offer here this morning on our interview. So what are some of the programs that we can look forward to for World Literacy Day?
Okay, so this year for World Literacy Day, we'll be focusing not just on traditional literacy, but on financial literacy, media literacy, nutritional and health literacy as well, and informational literacy.
Right. And how can we be a part of a Literacy Day? Now, I know that you all gave it to the public, invited the public to come and be a part of this day with you all. So how can we be a part? Where do we register? Is there a cost attached?
No, there's no cost attached. You just come to the Institute and we will be hosting it at the Top of the Mill restaurant on September the 9th.
Yes, I'm seeing September 9th, 2024. What time would this be starting? What topics would be addressed?
Right, as mentioned before, the topics will be traditional literacy, financial literacy, media literacy will be addressed, informational literacy, and nutritional and health literacy will be addressed. Those are the topics that will be addressed. Normally, we will just focus on traditional literacy, but this year we decided to expand a little bit, focusing on other types of literacy to make our program more interesting.
Okay, and who are you all trying to reach? What age groups are you all targeting? Would it be high school students, or is it to the general population? Anyone can come.
Right. Last year we did target the high school children, but this year we are targeting the primary school students.
Okay. All right. And where can we find more information on the event should anyone want to attend?
Okay, you can find more events on our website, www.thgi.edu.tt, or you can call us at 682-3809.
All right. So on our screen, we have International Chocolate Day. Now, I already started to smile. I know the camera isn't on me right now, but I am grinning my teeth, right? I am seeing International Chocolate Day. So let's get into the details. When is this event? What time and where? Because it's looking like something for my calendar.
We love to have you there, definitely. Right. International Chocolate Day event is September the 13th, the same week as our Literacy Day. So we have a jam-packed week next week. And it starts from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and it will be finishing at 3 p.m.
Okay, so I'm seeing a cocoa on the screen. When we know that when you dry the cocoa, you ground it, you can make your different chocolates, etc., right? But would this process be shown? You know, would we have the opportunity to grind our own cocoa and these type of things? What can we expect to happen at International Chocolate Day with THTI?
Okay, so definitely we'll have some demonstration happening. I'm not sure if they would take us as far back as to grinding the cocoa, but I know they will do show you how to temper the chocolate in different types of humidity, and which is a struggle for us in the Caribbean here. Yes. Mhm.
Okay, would we be able to sample the chocolate?
Yes, so many sampling will take place because we have partnered with several different organizations that will be there. Trinidad and Tobago Fine Cocoa is one of our main partners on board with us, and they will be having bringing in a chef from Lacon Blue to do the demonstration as well. We normally partner with Mr. Petite, and there are other new partners on board this day, for this
Okay.
chocolate day.
All right, and for the younger viewers that we have viewing our program this morning, could you tell them the significance of International Chocolate Day to Trinidad and Tobago?
Okay, well, as you know,
Okay, so we're having a bit more technical difficulties. So I think I may be able to answer that question that Chantal was going to brief us on. Now, we have a lot of cocoa estates around Tobago, right? It's very easy for you to pass on the streets and you'll see the cocoa trees lined off and stuff like that. So hearing International Chocolate Day and its significance to Trinidad and Tobago is that we have the base product of what chocolate is. So when we grind, and mind you, we can eat cocoa in its raw form, right? So before the cocoa is before you decide to eat the cocoa, how about we dry it, and grind it down? We'll have our dark chocolate. We can mix it in with different ingredients, and get the process going. And our finishing product would be those chocolate bars that you can munch on from time to time, and it's very healthy because of course it comes from the raw product, right? So when she said International Chocolate Day, I immediately got excited. All right, and for those of you viewing, I think you can see the information on our screens. It takes place on the 13th of September 2024 from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at THTI. She said there is a series of events happening that week, so you can look forward to International Literacy Day, World Literacy Day, and then straight into International Chocolate Day. So come and feed your minds, and then we can further on feed our bellies with the chocolate that they have to offer. All right. And she gave where we can find more information on this event. You can also find it on our Facebook page on Tobago Updates. All right. And unfortunately, Miss Melville won't be able to join us back. Again, she's experiencing some technical difficulties on her side. So I do wish her a very good day, right? And those of you still with us, I wish you all a great day, right? Facebook, YouTube, and 102 on Ampli. I hope that you have left the house, right? And you are on your way to your 8 o'clock jobs. All right, be safe on the road. I know a lot has been happening on our roadways, so I really hope that you go with God and you put Him first, so that everything else coming after is done in safety. All right. So before we continue on, I'd just encourage you to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back, and stay tuned.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, buljoil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules, or if you are having a cooking day off.
Go in. You have to stop it. You have to stop it. Welcome to my kitchen, guys. You have to stop it every night. That's it. That's the intro. Let's do it one more time, right?
It's a different type of thing down there. Man, we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
I'ma play some tune like this.
Don't worry, my wife will fuck it up. Make me happy whenever you fuck it. So me be very hard, fiesta, fun,
This one is for the people and them who don't care what nobody else have to say about them.
Them none of cash, broke what you have, what you know about.
It's too early for that.
Too early, good all. They do good enough, nine. Girl, go to club, girl, right. Nice.
Who's the one friend can drink all the alcohol no matter what?
Put a bottle and spoon and a cup in my hand and a winding up on me, man.
Dream.
Oh yeah! I said I can't wait for Tobago in October.
Embark on an adventure to the greatest little island on the planet. Tobago invites you to ritual, revelry, and release.
Whining in the Bago sun, having Bago fun, in Bago drinking rum. We go jump up and carry on.
From October 25th to the 27th, 2024, experience the energetic vibe, the vibrant colors, and the unforgettable spirit of the Tobago Carnival.
Down here in Tobago.
Whether you're chipping down the road or marveling at the beauty and creativity of our artisans, Tobago Carnival is an adventure.
I said I wait for Carnival to come. So I call all my friends, making my plans for the Tobago Carnival fun.
Join us for ritual, revelry, and release. Tobago Carnival 2024, where every moment is memorable.
I said I can't wait for Tobago in October.
Attention members, now is your chance to double or even triple your dividend payment with no increase in your existing loan payment. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to boost your dividends effectively. Whether you're planning a vacation or simply looking to maximize your savings, we've got you covered. Call us today at 639-8226 or 631-1336. Message us on Facebook for more information. Hurry, this offer won't last long. Bethel Credit Union, because we see you at BCU.
Are you ready to optimize your wedding business for engagement season and book more clients? Refine is the place to be. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024 from 9 a.m. Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. This premier event is designed specifically for Caribbean wedding industry professionals. Gain expert insights, practical knowledge, and valuable connections that can help you thrive in the destination wedding market. Register now at refinesummit.com. It is time to refine. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Get insider info, advice, and insights from local, regional, and international players in the destination wedding market. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024, Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. It's time to refine.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning.
Good morning and welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. As you know, it's Youth Wednesdays where we bring lively discussions related to young people here on the island of Tobago. Now, Natalia told me to ensure that I shout out Julia Adams, who has been tuning in to our programs every morning. So thank you so much, Miss Adams, for your continuous support. Now, Natalia and I had a discussion earlier, a little banter, that would have basically allowed us to lead up to this moment right here, where we would be discussing whether or not students should be allowed to go to school with this particular hairstyles. In studio with me this morning is Miss Royan James. She is a content creator and hairstylist specializing in locks. We also have Miss Yolanda Marcel, PTA president for the Signal Hill Secondary School. And on your way, we have Miss Abeni Taylor, who is a teacher at Bishop's High School. And we have Janae Jones, who was a past student. So we have an interesting discussion coming up. I'm sure that you all tune in and, share your comments, right? So before we get into the meat of everything, yes, I know that we're talking about hairstyles, but can you guys share what was your favorite hairstyle going to school as I were Royan?
Yeah, of course. So in my later years of high school, when I was in fifth form, it was during COVID time. I loved a slick back ponytail. Oh my goodness, that was my favorite. Slick back braided ponytail. Long. That was it.
How long?
Not long.
Okay, how about you, Miss Marcel?
Well, in our time, it didn't have so much of an issue with what the hairstyle was. So we had two ponytails, one ponytail.
Oh, okay.
Made a bun. We
Yeah.
love the buns.
The buns.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I was an Afro girl because I struggled to curl my hair. So if it wasn't an Afro, my mommy would put my hair in some neat cornrows going back and stuff like that. So that was basically my style.
Nice.
So school is open. Students are back out to school and they are getting ready. When they get ready, they put on their full school uniform. But it seems that oftentimes we have issues with the hair, right? Most students like to try different things. They want to slip backs. I see the slip backs are a little different now.
Yeah, they are.
A little different from what they used to be. Right? The boys want to mark up their hair and so on. However, it seems to be an issue for the education system, right? So we would be discussing whether or not students should be able to go to school with certain hairstyles. So last year, the Ministry of Education updated their policy for hairstyles in school. Right? So I'm just going to brush through it a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So the National School Hair Code, right? Students should maintain neat and clean hair at all times. Hair that crosses the shoulder length should be tied back at all times for safety reasons. Locks, twists, plaits, afros, cornrows shall be allowed for all students in compliance with the individual schools. Female students shall be allowed to wear hair extensions, including weaves and braids in compliance with the individual schools. Wigs and dyed or colored hair for students are not allowed in exceptional cases as determined by the school principal. Approval may be granted to the students. Hairstyles that obstruct the normal view of others are not allowed except for religious reasons. Eyebrow markings and eyelash extensions are not allowed. Haircut parting designs should be simple. Intricate designs are not allowed. And hair ornaments should be in compliance with the individual school rules, right? So basically, the Ministry of Education has national guidelines, but it's up to the individual schools to implement whatever measures they see fit according to said guidelines, right? So the first question I really want to ask is, in your opinion, should students in Trinidad and Tobago be allowed to come to school with a hairstyle that they choose?
Based on the guidelines?
Based on the guidelines.
Yes.
Yes.
Based on the guidelines.
Based on the guidelines.
But of course, some people take advantage of freedom. So, but I guess we'll get to that later. But based on the guidelines, yeah.
Okay. How do you feel about that?
Well, they do.
They do.
Students do come to school with whatever hairstyle they choose based on the guidelines.
Based on the guidelines. So I recently saw a post on social media. This is in Trinidad, where a schoolgirl was suspended for having braids in her hair, and the braids was pulled back, right? But in the guidelines, it said that, students could wear their extensions once it's, pulled back. So do you think that it's unfair in that case for the school to suspend the child?
I think it was probably based on the length of her hair, maybe.
Length? No, it was pulled back and wrapped up in a bun.
And she was suspended?
Suspended.
Yeah, there's more to that story.
There's more to that story.
Because I see some buns that look like a whole bird nest.
So you think
So I believe that the hair might have been all the way down to her butt. And in trying to bring it up, you have this big bulk
behind you,
which would affect one of your rules about obstructing
division
but
of from
other
what
students.
I have seen based on the picture that was provided, that was, well, it could be based on my opinion as well.
Exactly.
I think that the bud was rather small in comparison to the, well, I know that a lot of girls have the fox, fake locks now, right? And usually if it's really long, you'd see that they have these big buns, right? So it's not that, it was basically traditional braids that she wore, right? But we had another case here in Tobago a couple of weeks ago where a male student, he wasn't allowed to participate fully in his graduation because of a hairstyle that he wore, right? And he was asked to leave their graduation ceremony. He had some patterns and hearts in his hair, right? So as we see, we have some issues where that is concerned between whether or not students should be allowed to creatively express themselves whilst trying to follow the guidelines. So do you think that with the intricate designs for the guys, right? We know we have top of the line barbers now that are accessible, right? Where the boys want to mat their hair up and, style it up in whatever way that they see fit. Do you think that, the rule that says that they cannot allow male students to have intricate hairstyles, do you think that that rule should be reviewed?
No.
No? Why not?
Because that is not what school is about.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in school, it's bad enough that they have all this hair, and so they have these pick combs in their hair, and you have to be constantly telling them, you can't walk around with those combs stuck into your hair.
Mhm.
Every time you look around, they're fixing the afro and all of that. It's very distracting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You come to school, you learn. During the August holiday, the Easter holiday,
Mhm.
you have all that time to express yourself and whatever. But again, like we're saying, we're in agreement with according to the guidelines given.
Yeah.
The idea is to not be distracted by the fashion statement.
Yeah, and then I think too, we also have to remember that it's also not only based on the guidelines, but based on the individualities of the school.
Right.
Yeah. So even if a child might be going to one school and they maybe got away with it, that doesn't mean that they will go to their school and get away with it also.
Get away with it. So do you think that, okay, I understand the statement where a lot of people say that, school is not necessarily about a fashion show.
Right.
You see the slickest of ponytails, the swoopest of edges, right, the sharpest of haircuts and so on.
Yeah.
But do you think that by not allowing the students to express themselves through their hairstyles, that you're diminishing their creativity in a sense?
I don't necessarily think so. I think for students to be able to show their creativity, that is why we have subjects like cosmetology and coding and textile and woodwork and that kind of thing. Just like Miss just said, school is not necessarily about a fashion show. And of course, you can be creative in that way, which is why they extended it to locks and weaves and that kind of thing. But of course, we can't take advantage of the privilege that we are already having. Because back in my days when I was going to school, of course, I had my ponytail, but it was not necessarily allowed. And people had locks and that kind of thing, but they would have been asked to leave as well. So yes, we have the privilege, but we definitely should not take advantage of it.
Do you share the same sentiments?
Oh, definitely.
Right.
And everything, we're always trying to push boundaries. If you're in school and you really want to express yourself, let's see some grades. If you really want to express yourself, let's wear the uniform with pride. Neat. Not having your pants hanging, your skirt shorter than it should be. If you want to really express yourself, your pleats neat, flat, your shirt neat, clean, there is your expression.
So I think sometimes students often get carried away in terms of spending so much time fixing their hair when it should be in class or preparing for the day of school and so on. So that is that's an interesting point to take into consideration. But as I was mentioning earlier on, this is Generation Z, this is Gen Z. So the way how this generation basically sees things, they like to push boundaries if they see that it is a bit unfair. So prime example, girls may not be allowed to wear their hair past their shoulders. However, you would see a teacher coming to school with her hair past her shoulders. You might see her hair dyed in like rainbow colors. Let me say green, red, it doesn't matter. You might see her hair dyed. You would see her, with elaborate hairstyles, right? So in the eyes of a student, it could be a case where, okay, if this teacher could do this, why can't I, right? So this generation is one that would question everything and try to push boundaries. So in that sense, do you think that something needs to be done there? If it is, we're telling students, listen, you can't come to school in that hairstyle because it's distracting. It will be distracting the class. Yet still you have a teacher who is teaching the class in front of said class with an elaborate hairstyle. What do you have to say to that?
I remember being younger, and when my mommy told me to do something, if I asked why, she would say, She would say, I don't need to give you a reason why. That's what she would say. But in this regard, I understand the point of view, but at the same time, the student and the teacher has two different roles. The student is coming to learn, and the teacher is there to teach, to impart the information. So yes, the teacher may be going against the guidelines, and yet again the guidelines are for the students. But the teacher is one older than you, she's more mature, and her intention or his intention would not be to distract the class, quote unquote. If anything, that is good, because if they're quote unquote distracting, then that means that the students would watch the teacher more, they'll pay attention. So that's a good thing.
Right.
Yeah.
We have to save his master.
Well, I love how you were using student and teacher. One is an adult, and one is a child. And what we are having is children wanting to be adults before their time. And what these rules and guidelines do is they help a child to learn to conform, learn to focus. When you're in school, your one focus is to learn, is to be guided, is to be trained, is to be taught. That is your focus.
Yes.
The teacher is an adult. They've already gone through this. And teachers do have guidelines. Teachers do have their own guidelines. What you're again talking about this Gen Z, we have this new generation of teachers that come to school looking as though it's not school, that they're not teaching, that is not teenagers, especially in the high schools. And even in the primary school, these young people, they have eyes, you know. But you as a child, you are limited, restricted in what you can and cannot do, where you can and cannot go, what you can and cannot say. And you have to learn to work within guidelines, because when you become an adult, if you are raised to break rules as a child, when you become an adult, you are continue to be a rule breaker. And what happens to our society? You know, and that is where it starts. We don't look at these little things as being instrumental in shaping the mind of a child and the behavior and pattern of a child. But when you are allowed to push boundaries and get away with it as a child, when you become an adult, now where you are an adult, no one could tell you anything. You don't care for rules. You don't care for anything. You know, so even though it may seem unfair, you are still a child. You are constrained by rules and regulation that you have to follow. Whether we like it or not, like you were saying, when your mom tell you something, it have nothing to do with whether you get an explanation or not. You do what you're told because that's what you're told to do by the adult in the space.
Yes.
So,
So
you know?
I like how we basically had a differentiation between teacher and student. Each has their own role, each has their own purpose to play within the classroom setting, right? And I like how you mentioned that these rules are there and set in place to teach students discipline, because sometimes you tend to have students who, you know, go overboard sometimes, right? So we'd go for a break and we'd be right back. Don't forget to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Are you an architect or draftsman looking to upgrade your skills, or a beginner eager to master essential tools? ReCAD Labs has the solution. Our Revit Architecture Fundamental Tobago course is designed to boost your skills and confidence. Running from October 6th to November 17th, this course includes a live session on November 17th for hands-on learning. Learn from experts in our virtual classroom and stay ahead in the world of architecture. Visit recadlabs.com to enroll now and follow us on social media for updates.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Are you ready to optimize your wedding business for engagement season and book more clients? Refine is the place to be. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024 from 9 a.m. Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. This premier event is designed specifically for Caribbean wedding industry professionals. Gain expert insights, practical knowledge, and valuable connections that can help you thrive in the destination wedding market. Register now at refinesummit.com. It is time to refine. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Get insider info, advice, and insights from local, regional, and international players in the destination wedding market. Refine, the Wedding Business Summit. Saturday, 14th September 2024, Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago. It's time to refine.
Attention all talented individuals and groups in Tobago. This is your moment to shine. Showcase your skills in music, dance or drama at Tobago Star Quest. Prelim auditions are held every Sunday across various communities throughout Tobago. Seize the chance to win exciting prizes and demonstrate your talent. For more details, visit our Instagram page at tobago.star.quest or email tobagostarquest@gmail.com. We look forward to seeing you there.
I'm so relieved Javel gave me this money. Now I could enjoy the holidays with my family and not have to worry about monies for bags, books, and shoes.
Javel? Who is Javel? She could give me some money too?
Javel is the July-August vacation education loan at Bethel Credit Union. Up to $20,000 to help with all additional expenses during this July-August.
Yes, you heard right. Call the Bethel Credit Union and ask for Javel. She'll hook you up with the money to take care of all your additional expenses this holiday season. Open to new members too. Get up to $20,000 and have a worry-free holiday with Javel. Call 639-8226 or 631-1336 or message us on Facebook for more information.
Stop. You don't have to sneak in. You don't have to sneak. Pigeon Point Security, we have access pass. You don't have to sneak in.
What access pass is that?
The new Pigeon Point Breaking Beach access card. With this card, you can get free access to Pigeon Point, a free umbrella, and a free chair. So make sure you get your Pigeon Point access card.
I can get up?
Definitely. This is your access card, so you can now go into Pigeon Point.
Okay. Guys, we outside in Pigeon Point, sun and we enjoying it with we access cards. All social media links to Youth Voice and Pigeon Point would be tagged, and stay tuned for it.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. It is Youth Wednesdays and we're having a healthy discussion about students and their hair. Now we have in our midst Miss Abeni Taylor, who is a teacher at Bishop's High School, and a past student, Janae Jones. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
No problem. So we were just getting into the thick of it in terms of hairstyles. We already discussed that, the rules are there to ensure that students are disciplined, right? However, Janae, you had an experience where you had a situation with your hair and you basically put out of class. Do you care to explain the situation?
Okay, so I wasn't put out of class, but I had my hair in natural twist, my natural hair, and then I was asked if I could hold it back. I was asked respectfully, and I understood, and I was like, okay, cool, miss, no problem. I didn't see the issue with it because I understand as young people, we need guidance, and it also helps prepare us for the real world, because I know recently the rules in the THA has been removed, and it is expected that public servants will dress respectfully and look in a mannerly way. So I think it just prepares us for the outside world. I don't think it's a form of discrimination or anything of that sort.
Yes, a form of discrimination, which, is a big thing when talking about hairstyles within the school space here in Trinidad and Tobago. A lot of people see it as a way of disrespecting, in a sense, the natural hair of, people of African descent in Trinidad and Tobago. And well, I have heard of some situations in other schools where it is you had persons with naturally long hair who were allowed to have their hair out. However, you have persons with thick, foresty hair who weren't allowed to do those things. So what do you guys think about that?
Well, I could start by saying, for example, some persons, it depends on the perspective. From the perspective of the administrators or whoever the person's putting the rules in place, they believe that if there is a uniform, we expect that you conform to the norm of how we want our uniform to look. The perspective of those who are wearing the hair, they may say, but this is my form of expression. This is how I wear my hair. This is my natural. I can't do anything about it. However, you are in an institution where there are rules that we ought to conform to. I don't see an issue with an institution stating that we prefer that your hair be back in one with a bun neatly and not touching your shoulders. I understand that. So I am in agreement with those with administration who would like that students have their hair in a certain way, boys and girls. I'm in agreement with it because there's a uniform. You don't see, for example, a police officer with long locks coming down here and they hat. You don't see those things because there is a norm that you have to conform to with regard to how they want how their institution should be showcased to the wider public. That's just my perspective. There are several, but that's what I believe.
Maybe you get to jump in here.
Well, very polemic topic. Very polemic.
It
really is. Just piggybacking on what Miss Taylor said, I completely agree with what she said. About the distinction for boys and girls, because usually teachers they tend to more focus and zero in on the girls when really and truly guys. Fellas, they have the star and the broken heart to the back of the head and that kind of thing too. So yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so Joe, give us myself.
How passionate I am about rules, and there is a time and place.
Right.
No one is trying to stifle your expression, but there is a time and there is a place. You cannot be looking like the club at school.
Right.
Because you're not going to go to the club looking like school. So we have to learn, and that is part again of training them up.
Yes.
You learn what is for where. And what we have now is where there is no proper expression. Since we're dealing with expression, there's no proper expression because you cannot tell when someone is going somewhere official. You cannot tell when they're just going down the street because they're in jeans, no matter where. They're in the look doesn't change. And I was raised where when you were going to an official setting, you saw it from the time you left the house.
Right.
You know, oh, how you dress up, where you going?
Right.
Yes, in your dandan and thing, you
Right.
know. And you knew when the person was just going down the street.
Right.
And so this is something we need. Yes, Gen Z want to express themselves,
yes.
but we need to set guidelines and help them in their expressing themselves to understand this is your expression at this place and this is your expression at that place. And that is what this does. It helps to bring some type of guideline in place and help them. You know, if we're saying that we want to let Gen Z express themselves as parents and as teachers, we are teaching you how to express, where to express, what to express. That's what it is.
You actually brought up a very interesting point in which you said that, okay, you have a hairstyle for school, you
Yes.
have a hairstyle for
Going out,
outside,
yes.
going out, etc. And I think you brought up an excellent point, because students would not wear the school uniform to go to chow.
Right.
Students wouldn't wear the school uniform to go to paint,
You
right?
understand?
So I understand that point. I understand that point entirely, and I agree with it, right? But the parents, we're talking about the students, but the parents, oftentimes the parents are the ones who are paying for the boys to get their hair cut. They're paying for the girls to get their hair done and braided, etc. What do you have to say to parents who are allowing their children to do as they please?
I think as a teacher, I had to come in this one
Yes.
time because I felt it in my core. Parents train up your child the way they should go, you know, when they perform it. So I understand that parents are training their children for their household, but when your children are associated with an institution that has rules that governs that institution, by no means you must conform to rules, because those are the rules that govern this institution. If you are part of the institution, I don't see an issue with conforming to the norm. However, if it is outside of that institution and you decide for your child or ward to dye their hair, curl it, do whatever you wish, cut in a kind of accepting, you know, the styles, cut up the eyebrows, that's fine when they are home or they're in other places. But when it comes to going to an institution, I reiterate that, where there are rules, there are things, guidelines that you must conform to, I don't see a problem with just obey the rules, because that is what governs us. Because if it is you have your home, in my house you can't come in with shoes, because whatever gyms they pick up outside, they come in my house with it. That's the rules of my house. But I could come with you and walk straight in your bedroom with my shoes on, because you accept that. But if an institution doesn't accept certain things, why not conform to it? Because that is how I want my space to be run, and that's how I see it, because I'm very passionate about this. So that's why I want to express it as such.
Well done, well done. I'm in full agreement. Well done. And I am always coming down on parents, because I believe strongly that a child is an expression of the parent. You know, because when you are at home and the child come home, Mommy, you wouldn't believe what Miss say and what Sir say. And you know, don't bother with them. You know, So the child comes back to school.
That same energy.
You know, I don't know what's wrong with them, because that is the conversation that was just held at home. And so the parents, they send their children to school. Girl, don't bother with them now. Just kind of let me try and fix this up here. You know, and the nonsense continues. And then we wonder why the children are rebellious. We wonder why the children are not productive. And then we want to blame the school for not managing the children. So you run your little zoo at home, and you raise your little pets at home, and then you release them into society, and then you say, what you mean, you can't deal with that, and they're so nice at home.
For me, I worked at a hair store for a few months, and the period that I worked there, I went it went into the summertime, and so parents would come in with their kids, and I'd be helping them, and they would say, yes, it's summertime, she could get it red now, she could get it green now, she could get it blue now, and I'm in full agreement with that, because that parent then understands that summertime you can have your freedom, school time you have your black hair, you have your ribbon in your hair, you have your hair up in your bun, neat and dandy, you know, so yeah.
Yeah, we're seeing now where a lot of young girls who like to wear their ribbons, right?
Different schools have different rules. Because
regulations.
Where I am at Bishop's, first to third form, you have to put in a ribbon.
Yes.
But there are other schools, girls don't have to wear ribbons, and that's fine. That's your rules for them. I used to love my ribbon.
At my school, 1 to 3rd, ribbons.
Yes.
I think it looks so cute. I don't understand this generation at all. The thing does look so cute.
The ribbon is probably make it look childish.
But the thing does look so cute, because you still want to tie up string in your hair anyhow. When you're not in school. I am kind of real with it. When you go out, when you're going out and you make your big thing on top and you do your wraps and stuff, you get the color cloth to match, and the ribbon matches the uniform. Come on now. And you put it in. I learned to make all type of designs with ribbons, you know.
With the finger, I said no ribbon.
And you wrap it and you make the knot, and then you open your little bow and you pin it in. The thing looks so cute. You have your hairstyle, whatever, and you garnish it.
Garnish.
Yeah. I just you decorate. Well, you will garnish. You decorate. You add to it. You enhance. You stick that nice little color inside of it. Oh my God.
But as Miss Marcel, as you brought up earlier, a lot of young people, as you said, sometimes they try to grow up before their time. Right? So the little ribbons and stuff that, for me, I love my ribbon. Ain't nobody could tell me to put no ribbon in my hair, because I always had a ribbon, right?
Right.
So I understand that point entirely. But in terms of punishment, we know that a lot of the students have been suspended for their hairstyles and so on, right? Do you think, given the fact that the parents are responsible, do you think that they also have a role to play? Do you think that they deserve some kind of, I don't know, some kind of talk or blame or something?
Well, the whole blame is theirs. You know, because listen, when I was going to school, if it is how I left home, I didn't come back home. That was our next conversation. That had nothing to do with words. And on top of that, you were concerned that someone of your parents' friend would see you on the road and report to your parent. But you know, I saw you landed on the road. And if you see the behavior, so by the time you reach home, mommy by the door, waiting.
That's when it's to take a village to raise a child.
Right. Not when you're telling people, don't talk to my child, so, you know. And those kind of stuff. So the thing about that is that we have to really, the whole blame, and anyone having a conversation with me would know, the whole blame is on the parent. Because you are responsible. When you washing your child clothes, you see where the pants foot smaller than your child. You washing your daughter clothes, you know that your child grew in the past 2 years, so definitely the uniform shorter. You going, you giving them $300, $500 to go and get their hair done. What you think they're going to do? Put cornrows in it? You know, they're coming home every day. You're not seeing that. You're not asking a question. My children were bright enough to know that mommy and the scissors real friendly. Right? So when you come in the house, you and I know the rules. We have a discussion. We know what the teacher already said. So when you come in the house with the hair done, you better be showing me how that is in compliance with the uniform you're going to put on tomorrow morning. Right? So you're not coming with nails done. You're not coming with eyelashes done. You're not coming and put on colored lip gloss. I understand you want to wear your lip gloss, but you would not be putting on colored lip gloss. So everything goes. And once you see, you start breaking one rule. That here rule, then you find, well, if I could do the here, then, you know, I could do the, and I could do the, and then I could do this. So you see, it's a domino effect.
Yes.
You know?
Okay, guys, unfortunately, we have to wrap up our discussion this morning. I must say it was really nice to have you guys here. And I appreciate all the points, all the perspectives. So, this is the end of our morning show, but don't go anywhere yet. We have GMT coming next. Don't forget to share the live, share the live, share the live.
The initiative behind this project or this program, I would say, is it's Independence Day. Independence Day is time for fun, your time for camaraderie, you're celebrating how much years you have been free or whatever the case may be. So I think after the parade, I think everybody should come down and enjoy themselves and have a day celebrating our freedom.
All enjoying the festivities. Yeah, you're talking about.
I look at it as something that we can have like July 4th in America, a day of celebrating. So it's not just about boat racing, it's about families and fun, children coming with their parents and coming together and having a fun day. And while having fun, experiencing freedom. We have boats from all over. Of course, there'll be pirogue races, there'll be speedboat races, and there'll be power races. We're supposed to have a contingent from Trinidad. We call them the Boeing Spec class. We're still having conversation on how we could, you know, make it suitable for them to come and race. But added to that, we should have that class from Trinidad also. We are in conversation also with the Trinidad and Tobago Air Guard. Because it's independence and because there are families coming out and there would be children, we are having a flyover so that the children would enjoy seeing a plane running behind the boats and stuff like that at maybe a lower altitude. And may I say normally, when you're talking about boat racing, people don't get to see the boats up close and personal. It's always hundreds of meters away, you know, they'll be racing right in the shoreline. We'll have bouncy castles, we'll have novelty events, might have swimming race, there might be jet skis, we're trying to get dragon boat on board and stuff like that. So it's a day full of events. We're trying to keep it in town and next part of the initiative also is building back Scarborough, our capital of Tobago. Just saying to Tobago, after the independence, we have a fun day packed for you guys. Right after the parade, come down to the Esplanade and have some fun with us. Come and see boat racing, come and see planes flying, come and see drones, come bring your kids for bouncy castles and other games, or whatever the case may be. There'll be toys, there'll be food, there'll be drinks, there'll be music. So just come down and have a fun day with us.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Last year, October 2023, the island tilted. The peaceful bliss of sea, sun, and sand was transcended as we took to the streets to revel in paradise.
Tobago! It's such a nice place!
Tobago Carnival, we're right here. We're not leaving till we go right down.
It's the greatest, it's the best, it's safe, and it's beautiful!
I love Tobago, baby! Coming back next year! Hey!
Playing pan on the streets is a magical experience. When the band strike up, it's rhythm, steel and powder. This is Tobago Carnival, Pan in Paradise.
Tobago is the best.
Tobago Carnival is the new home for the legend of Calypso. Where else can you get sweet Calypso music that gives you that nostalgic feeling?
Soca Titans is we title, is we monarch. We built artists from scratch who can perform with the best. Real Titans of Soca.
When last you've been to a party, plenty women looking so nice. We must be in paradise.
This year, Ritual takes on new space and dimension. Traditions will be reimagined, breaking free, and taking on new meaning on the road.
I love the energy!
This year, the revelry is bigger and better. More colors, more meaning, great packages for the masqueraders. Tobago Carnival is freedom.
This year promoting safety in all events for Tobago Carnival. This year promoting whining, not minding people business. This year promoting clean fun, security and freedom.
Freedom to be any version of yourself that you choose to be with love and safety. Here, you have permission to be you, uninhibited and free.
So what you waiting on? This year, this October 2024, experience the ritual, revel in paradise, release yourself. From the greatest little island on the planet, this is the Tobago Carnival 2024.
And welcome to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. And you know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. The Innovative Democratic Alliance has called for transparency regarding the Tobago House of Assembly proposed Store Bay Beach Club project. IDA PRO K. Tropman demanded full disclosure about the project's scope, environmental impact, and the developers involved. She criticized the lack of meaningful consultation with the affected vendors and wider community, raising concerns about the project's intentions and potential impact, while acknowledging some discussions between the THA and tenants. Tropman argued that the exclusionary process has heightened concerns, stressing that development should benefit everyone, not just a privileged few. Additionally, Minority Leader Kelvon Morris expressed strong concerns about ongoing works during the school term, calling it unacceptable. He criticized the Secretary for the Division of Education, Research and Technology, suggesting that proper planning and resource allocation should have been done during the July-August vacation to avoid the current situation. Morris emphasized that some schools had no work done and questioned the division's priorities. He urged the Secretary to stop making excuses, stressing that education and children's future should not be compromised, and expressed disappointment in the current handling of the situation.
And finally, Tobagonian Alan Warner, along with his son and associates, have appealed the dismissal of their injunction application to retrieve heavy equipment and property seized during police investigations into mining operations. The appeal was discussed during a hearing where Justice Frank C. Prasad appeal was discussed during a hearing with Justice Frank C. Prasad who scheduled a future court date. The original injunction was denied on August 21st as some items had been returned, but others were retained as evidence in the ongoing criminal proceedings. The group's lawyer claims the police investigation is unlawful and seeks the return of the seized item and land. Justice C. Prasad stressed that the investigation should not be interrupted and allowed the companies to use parts of the land not under investigation, while the police can continue to probe other areas. And that was our news in 90 seconds. This morning, just as one of our news stories highlighted, we are talking about what's happening in regards to infrastructural development here on the island of Tobago. And one of those big infrastructural development projects that we have been hearing a lot of buzzing about recently is that Torbay Beach Facility proposed redevelopment project. This morning, to get some clarity on that and to really understand what that project is about, we have Councillor Tashia Grace Boris that is joining us online, who is also the Secretary for the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation. Good morning, Secretary, and welcome.
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me on this morning.
Thank you for giving us your time. Now, when it comes to infrastructural development, I believe even in our last conversation, you would have indicated that there has to be an alignment with the type of infrastructure that we have on the island in regards to the type of tourists that we are trying to attract. And with that being said, recently we saw a bit of a buzz happening on the social media with a new proposed project that had not been discussed, but we saw, some clips of a proposed new design for that Torbay Beach facility. Tell us a bit about this project.
Okay, good morning, and thank you again for having me on Tobago Updates this morning. I have noticed in the last couple of days a lot of information and misinformation circulating in the public domain regarding planned upgrades to the Torbay Beach facility. So I felt it was necessary to bring some clarity and clear the air, and certainly encourage people to get their information from verified sources. Anybody can go on social media and talk about their opinions or how they feel or what they've heard, but it is important to ensure that correct information goes out so that people understand the process. So when I assumed office in 2021, one of the things that I did immediately in 2022 was to visit our sites and attractions that fall under the management of the Division of Tourism. And one of those facilities is obviously our Torbay Beach facility, which is a flagship facility of ours. It is the first beach facility that you meet as soon as you exit the airport and the last beach facility that you leave before you leave the island. So in walking about during that time and speaking to vendors, looking at the touting situation, speaking to the security guards, the lifeguards, the users of the facility, the consensus that I got from the horse's mouth, which is the people who use the facility on a daily basis, is that Torbay has been neglected for a number of years and it is long overdue for an upgrade. So those were the cries that came from my one-on-one conversations with persons who are users and tenants of the facility. Fast forward to later in 2022 into 2023, we had our district town hall meetings, and at the district town hall meeting for Canaan Bonaccord, which was attended by members of the Executive Council, led by the Chief Secretary, as well as the area representative Joel Sampson, a commitment was made that we will prioritize characterize the upgrade of the Store Bay Beach facility in fiscal year 23-24, which is the current fiscal year that we are in. And that commitment was made publicly because, again, at that district town hall meeting, persons expressed concerns about the state of Store Bay and the lawlessness that was taking place there, and the fact that it was no longer an attraction that visitors can enjoy safely with their families. So we gave that commitment. So we started a process, and that process was to get from persons, what would you like to see in this new upgraded facility? We didn't simply want to slap paint on walls. We didn't simply want to do cosmetic upgrades, but rather we wanted to create a facility that would, one, serve the interests of the tenants, the users of the current facility, and help them to upgrade their businesses, help them to scale their businesses, help them to get access to a larger, more diverse clientele. And secondly, because Tobago is positioning itself as a cruise destination to look out for, and we attract, and last season was indication of the potential of Tobago to really make an impact on the cruise, in the cruise sector in the Caribbean. It was felt also in terms of feedback from cruise lines as well. Their cruisers, when they come on land, the different things that they want to do. So they want to go to facilities where they can sit and enjoy the beach. They want to enjoy other amenities. They want to get access to shopping. They want to get access to dining. And this was an opportunity for us to position the Store Bay Beach facility as one such facility, which would attract our domestic visitors year-round. And during our international season, which is really between October and April, serve as an attraction for our cruise visitors as well as our international visitors who are looking for a more higher end experience. And so we commissioned EIDCOT, which is our project management company under the Tobago House of Assembly, to conduct some surveys. And these surveys were conducted in August of 2023 during the Great Race period, where we will have a natural influx of visitors. And those surveys were conducted with users and tenants of the facility as well as members of the public. So there was an initial survey that was done. The personnel of EIDCOT was on site on Great Race Day, and they helped persons to fill out these surveys to get feedback initially to determine what users and what tenants and what members of the public would like to see happen at Store Bay. And coming out of those initial surveys, an initial design was prepared. Now, mind you, in the project management process, there are several iterations that we have to go to when we're managing a process. So the first is to get an idea of what the issues are, what is the problems that we're trying to fix, and get an idea of what a conceptual solution to those problems could be. So that initial design was prepared and first unveiled and presented internally to stakeholders in April of this year. So there were different groupings of stakeholders who we revealed the design to get feedback from those persons. And one such stakeholder grouping obviously was our tenants, and these are people who pay a rent at the facility. I noticed that Tobago Updates interviewed two persons who don't pay rent at the facility. Those were not the people who were taken up in these initial set of consultations, even though one of those persons was invited. That initial consultation involved lifeguards, tour guide, the dive shop operators, food and craft vendors, other commercial users and tenants, as well as the presidents of the reef boat associations. That was a small initial grouping of our stakeholders because wider consultation has to take place. At that first consultation, 64 persons were present representing all of those interests. I was present, the area rep was present, and this is where the initial designs were presented to that group of persons to get their feedback. So mind you, we have been getting feedback from all of the different stakeholder groupings who have been spoken to about this project. And as we get that feedback, the designs are being refined. So we had that first conversation. It was unveiled. I went to great lengths to explain to persons, this is not the end of the process. This is what you guys asked for. I will use an analogy. If you ask 100 persons what they would like to see in a playground, you may get 100 different suggestions as to different amenities that playground should have. And if somebody is creating a conceptual design for that playground, they will try try to include as many of those amenities that the users said that they require to have a playground that, you know, can appeal to them and make sure that they keep coming back. So that initial design really was as a result of those conversations. I did not have the opportunity to give an input because I am not a direct user. All of these
Right.
designs came out of those conversations that we had. Yes?
Right. And you would have indicated that the Storby Beach facility, you know, was promised to be a priority for 2023, 2024, and we're nearing the end of the financial year. So what has been done so far for the year at the facility?
So we actually are still in that process of determining what the users want. We can't commence any major upgrade works without completing this process. We have to go through all of the processes that are necessary to ensure that people are comfortable with the final product. So we have not been able to get to the place we ideally wanted to be by the end of this year, because this process has to happen and we have to give it sufficient time. We have to measure twice and cut once. So that is why I have kept emphasizing to the persons that we have been talking to that this process is not complete. So nobody has been evicted. There's no procurement process that is going on for a contractor to come in. There's no developer that was chosen. We are still trying to decide what this final design is going to look like.
And so what is happening with that allocation that was put for this year for the facility? Has it been put in other places, or we're going to ensure that we use it before the year is finished?
So allocations can always be moved depending on the priorities. If a project is not at a stage where it can be executed in the time that we were looked at, obviously there are many other priorities within the division that money could be utilized for. But for us, we are very much adamant that this Storby upgrade should go ahead. And as I said, it is a priority for this administration. We have made a promise to the people of Storby and environs that we will deliver under this administration an upgraded facility that they can be proud of. And for us, we just want people to help us go through the process. So as long as we are doing the consultations with the internal stakeholders, we will also have wider external consultations where members of the public can now be part of the conversation. They can get to see what the iterations of the designs look like, because we have, as I said, an initial design concept, and coming out of the conversations that we have already had, we will have some updated designs to present as well. So when those consultations are taking place in the public space, I would like to encourage everybody who has an interest in this project, every Tobagonian, every Trinidadian, every visitor, everybody who feels as if they need to have a say, you are encouraged to participate in this process, to let your voices be heard, to make your recommendations, to make your suggestions, because at the end of the day, the facility, it belongs to all of us. The facility is one that all of Tobago should be proud of. And we are using this as a test case really for tourism development and for people to see how other mature tourism destinations encourage projects like these in this space. And in the absence of us getting major foreign direct investment and the challenges we are having with that, we have to start with upgrading what we have home here to world standard. And I want to encourage people not to think small. Nothing is wrong with having a facility that looks like if it's straight out of a magazine on a beach in Turks and Caicos or one of these places that have 5- and 6-star accommodations. Tobago is a beautiful destination, and we deserve to have facilities that are a representation of the kind of experiences that visitors can have in Tobago. I understand the fears of those who are current tenants of the facility, because when you talk development and you talk about upgrades and you talk about the kind of upgrades that we dream of having, I know people will have a natural concern about rents raising and whether or not they will still fit into the plan for this facility. I can give the assurance this morning that none of the tenants that we have currently will be displaced from this new facility. We will definitely continue the conversations about things like the rent and how we are managing these things once the facility design has been approved and completed and is going ahead. But definitely we feel as if regardless of how much we upgrade a facility, there is room for that Tobago charm, room for the things that Tobago is known for. We just want to make sure that all of those things that we want to sell, which is the best of Tobago, is done in an aesthetically pleasing environment.
Understood. And we're going to take a break right here, and we'll be back with much more of this conversation. See you soon.
I'm so relieved Javel gave me this money. Now I could enjoy the holidays with my family and not have to worry about monies for bags, books, and shoes.
Javel? Who is Javel? She could give me some money too?
Javel is the July-August vacation education loan at Bethel Credit Union. Up to $20,000 to help with all additional expenses during this July-August.
Yes, you heard right. Call the Bethel Credit Union and ask for Javel. She'll hook you up with the money to take care of all your additional expenses this holiday season. Open to new members too. Get up to $20,000 and have a worry-free holiday with Javel. Call 639-8226 or 631-1336 or message us on Facebook for more information. Attention all talented individuals and groups in Tobago. This is your moment to shine. Showcase your skills in music, dance or drama at Tobago Star Quest. Prelim auditions are held every Sunday across various communities throughout Tobago. Seize the chance to win exciting prizes and demonstrate your talent. For more details, visit our Instagram page at tobago.star.quest or email tobagostarquest@gmail.com. We look forward to seeing you there.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Go in. You have to stop it. You have to stop it.
Welcome to my kitchen, guys.
You have to stop it every night.
That's it. That's the intro. Let's do it one more time, right?
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago. Yeah. Hey. Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago.
It's a brand new morning, rise up.
Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. If you're just joining us, I have been talking about that Storby redevelopment project with Councillor Tashia Grace Boris, who is the Secretary for Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation. Good morning and welcome back, Secretary. So with all the buzz happening about this new Storby Beach facility redevelopment project, persons are asking what is in store for persons of Tobago East. Can you tell us about some of the proposed projects that might be coming on that area, on that side of the island?
So currently we have on the books the development of the Bloody Bay Blue Food Site. So that is a project that started last year and it's also being managed under EACOT. And it was felt this year is the 27th edition of the hosting of the Blue Food Festival. And every time we host the Blue Food, we have to go in with infrastructure. We have to bring everything into the space, basically. And it was felt as if it was time for us to graduate it from just an event to creating experiences, value added around that festival. So it has become a staple on the Tobago calendar. Now we are proposing to actually build out a permanent facility that will not only just host that event, but create economic opportunities for persons in that Bloody Bay area to ply their trade year round, so that we can now encourage people to come and get access to Blue Food and Blue Food related products year round. They don't just have to be in Tobago for October for that. So that is a major project that is taking place on the northeast of the island. Definitely for us, there has been some conversation about other projects across the space, and we have been having some conversations with the Division of Settlements and Rural Development as to some proposed initiatives that we intend to look at undertaking this coming fiscal year. We have the development of the Highlands Nature Trail that was mentioned in our budget presentation in June. We also are looking at the possibility of a development for the Louisdor beach facility, which would include a pier and facilities for fishing boats and that kind of thing. So we're looking at different types of infrastructure projects across the space in Tobago. We don't intend to just put our attention on the southwest of the island, but we recognize that there are different tourism products that need to be encouraged throughout the Tobago space. And for us, again, that involves consultation with residents. It involves consultations with persons, users of those particular areas. We have to do our studies in terms of looking at environmental impact and economic impact, and seeing where our investments will have the greatest impact in the space. It is no secret that the Tobago House of Assembly does not get anything close to what is required for us to truly develop the entire island. $250 million every fiscal year cannot do much. When you look at our road infrastructure projects, they take up the bulk of that allocation. When we look at the fact that out of that development project vote, we are also paying salaries for different development workers in different divisions. And when we ask the question, do we really want development? We have to get up and start demanding the kind of revenue or the kind of allocation that allows for us to do holistic development on the island. We do not want to have projects languishing for 11 years. In the case of the hospital that took so long to be open, we don't want to have another Shore Park cultural complex that took almost 15 years to be complete. We cannot in 2024 still tell ourselves that we're taking one little step forward every single year because the money is just not enough, and people are waiting eons to see projects be completed. We're going to try our best to manage our allocations as best as we can, and definitely there's always a conversation about what are the priorities, because every single division has priorities under infrastructure development. And with respect to tourism, if we are going to make tourism our mainstay industry on the island, we have to sink some significant investment into upgrading our physical infrastructure. So when we come to the public with these ideas, when we come to the public with these proposed plans, when we come to the public to ask your opinion on what should we do to improve this Tobago space, we simply want a situation where people participate fully, they participate truthfully, and that they, let us know what is on their minds and hearts. We definitely don't want a situation where lies and misinformation are being peddled about development, because everything that we are trying to do, we are doing for the benefit of the people of Tobago.
Right.
So we are depending on you guys to be part of the process.
Right. And you touched a bit on, that island-wide approach to tourism infrastructural development. With that being said, there has been some chatter about the Isle of Tobago sign moving into the Scarborough Esplanade. Tell us about that and how that fits into the wider tourism agenda for your administration.
So unfortunately, I will not be able to answer about the Isle of Tobago, because that piece of property or infrastructure falls under the Division of Settlements. That was the division that put out for that sign to be created and placed in that area. I have not had a conversation with the secretary regarding moving of the sign. So if there are any plans to move it, I'm sure that we will have that conversation, and definitely there will be an opportunity for us to see how that can benefit or look at the pros and cons of such a move. But I will not be able to speak directly about the sign because unfortunately it does not fall under my remit.
All right. And what are some of the other projects that we can look forward to from your division that's on the way?
So in terms of public infrastructure, we are moving full speed ahead to finally reopen the Bloody Bay Beach facility. It has been closed for a number of months due to different challenges, but we are supposed to be able to have that facility reopened just in time for the Blue Food Festival. We are coming off of a very, very excellent cultural season with the hosting of the Heritage Festival and the Best Village Finals for the first time in Tobago. And I must take this opportunity to once again thank the heritage stakeholders, the community groups, all of the persons who visited, the suppliers, everyone who contributed to making the Heritage Festival this year a resounding success. And definitely Tobago showed up and showed out at the Best Village, the Prime Minister's Best Village Trophy Finals in Tobago. Our cultural groups again, our community groups again, put their blood on the stage basically and demonstrated to the whole of Trinidad and Tobago that Tobago is the cultural capital of Trinidad and Tobago. And we are going into carnival season, and we're going into the season where everybody tends to get excited. We are in the third year of the Tobago October Carnival, and plans are heading full steam ahead to ensure that this year's staging is bigger than last year's and more successful than last year's. Definitely for us, the focus has really been on ensuring that within this next fiscal year, we can be able to deliver on major initiatives. There's a major initiative that we have coming up. I'm not at liberty to discuss it yet, but it's something that I think will have huge impact in the space, especially when it comes to the infrastructure development of our tourism product and getting to the persons who have been working in the sector for a number of years and being able to give them some relief in terms of assisting them with their businesses. So I'm excited to look at that project and being launched. So certainly when I'm able to speak about it a little bit more, I'll be excited to share details. But this year is really preparing us for the opportunities that are coming in the sector. The new airport terminal is going to be operationalized by mid of next year. We are looking at the different hotel developments in the space. Manta Lodge will be opening in September. We have the Marriott project that is in the phase of doing their consultations right now for their CEC. We have the Elephant Tree project that is already underway, broken ground, and they are on course to finish their hotel development by mid of 2026. So there are a lot of exciting things that are coming in the space for the island and the people of Tobago, and we are looking at how we can capitalize on the opportunities that will be presented by these new projects coming on stream.
Right. And as you have touched a bit on Carnival, we have not yet seen a schedule for Carnival released. Where are we at with that? Can you tell us?
We actually released the schedule a couple days ago. So if you check the Welcome to .com website, you'll get all of the information. But we have been marketing aggressively in Trinidad. We just wrapped up our tour of Trinidad to market and hype up the carnival, and we've done activations in New York. We have an activation coming up in Toronto. We've done some marketing in Grenada, and we are having discussions with NCC and other stakeholders to see how they can assist us with continuing to market the carnival in spaces that we may not necessarily have a presence, and seeing how we can take advantage of some of the partnerships that we have formed over the years. But definitely for us, the Tobago October Carnival has become a staple on our events calendar, and it's one of those activities that has, really taken off, and people are looking forward to a safe hosting of the Tobago October Carnival this year. And we are just doing our part to ensure that we can welcome our visitors, ensure that they have a great time, and that when they're ready to leave our shores, that they could only have good things to say about Tobago.
Right, and as we speak, you are currently in Cayman Islands, if I'm not mistaken, right? And how does your trip there and everything that's happening there right now feed into the improvement of even the carnival product that we are trying to offer here in Tobago?
So my purpose in the Cayman Islands at this time is to attend the State of the Tourism Industry Conference. And this is a conference that happens yearly. All regional ministers of tourism and their territories are invited. And we have ministerial caucus, we have the Caribbean Tourism Organization. We host our Council of Ministers meeting as well as our AGM. So we elected a new chairman of the Caribbean Tourism Organization yesterday, and this has gone to Barbados. So Cayman Islands was the previous chair. Now Barbados has taken up the chairmanship of the Caribbean Tourism Organization. This presents an opportunity for me to have those intergovernment conversations about the tourism sector and about the partnerships that we can form with other regional ministers of tourism to get some much needed assistance in the Tobago space. And when I say assistance, we're looking at technical capacity building, we're talking about sharing flights, we're talking about hotel investment, we're talking about development in the space. We also share stories about best practices, things that have worked well for destinations similar to Tobago, things that have not worked so well. So it's an opportunity for us to get lessons learned from that. While SOTIC is taking place, we also have the Junior Youth Congress taking place. And this Junior Youth Congress is a competition that picks the junior regional minister of tourism. And if persons are not aware, Tobago won the title of Junior Minister of Tourism in 2022. And we have a delegate this year, our Junior Secretary of Tourism, Anthurium Lewis, and she's here with her teacher and her mom and some staff of the division. And she is being immersed in preparation for that competition, which takes place on Thursday. And definitely we are throwing all of our support behind our delegate. She is young, bright, intelligent from Bishop's High School, and we're really proud of her representation thus far. She's gotten the opportunity to immerse herself in the culture of the Cayman Islands and to form friendships with the other delegates from the other destinations. And the competition, as I said, takes place on Thursday, and we wish her all the best of luck, and certainly we know that she will do her best to bring home the crown. So these conferences are very important. It gives us an opportunity to once again market the destination, and we have been doing so. We have been selling our Tobago October Carnival aggressively. In fact, some ministers have reached out to say that they want to come to Tobago October Carnival. We're also talking about partnerships that could be formed with other destinations for us to ensure that we have a space in their festivals to market the Tobago October Carnival, as well as other festivals that are taking place in Tobago. Wider conversations about interconnectivity and airlift from different destinations are taking place. And this is really just a place where we can form partnerships as well as look for the business for Tobago. And so far, the conversations are very, very positive. We have some further conversations to happen after SOTIC. But definitely for me, I see the support of the rest of the Caribbean when it comes to Tobago's efforts. They have commended Tobago showing up consistently since I have been sitting in the chair. They are seeing so much more of Tobago and learning so much about what we have available. And a number of islands, through their ministers, have pledged support to ramp up their tourism efforts. They have pledged support in technical capacity building and assistance with, negotiating flights and things like that. So I'm very, very confident that this trip will bear a lot of fruit for the destination. And I continue to look forward to opportunities to represent Tobago and to sell the best of what Tobago has to offer wherever we go.
Right, and in previous conversations that I have had with the president for the chamber, the Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Mr. Curtis Williams, he indicated that conversations with the Tobago Promoters Association, have led to them, discussing the fact that the carnival is moving to a place where the private sector is going to, in the future be the ones taking charge and taking ownership of really pushing, developing and growing that carnival product for Tobago and taking some of the pressure off of the Division of Tourism. Tell us about that, if you have been a part of any of those conversations, and what does, that look like in the long term, and how can individuals in Tobago, specifically in the business space, begin to partner to help grow the Tobago Carnival product?
So I can say that, what has been happening is that I'm not hearing that everybody thinks that the THA must do everything. And I think that we are slowly getting to a place where the stakeholder organizations understand that they have a very large role to play in the future success of these initiatives. When we're coming in with new products, obviously the government has to come in very early with a significant injection to help grow whatever the new product is. But ideally for us, we want to get to the place where we are scaling back our involvement, and we are now introducing a business model that allows the private sector to fully own and to fully manage and to fully take over the sustainability, the future sustainability of things like a Tobago October Carnival. For me, I'm happy that the conversations are taking place in the space. I understand that we may not be there yet, and certainly year 3 might be a little bit too early for us to get to the place where it's 100% owned and managed and operated by the private sector. There will always be a role for government to facilitate the growth of the festival, but definitely there needs to be more conversation as to the opportunities that are coming out of the hosting of a carnival. Not just opportunities for promoters who are having parties or mass bands who are selling costumes, but there are opportunities for small entrepreneurs. There are opportunities for more persons to get into the accommodation sector. There are opportunities for more persons to get into value-added businesses like car rentals and tour guides and tour operators, because people don't just want to come to Tobago to experience a carnival, they want to experience the destination. There's more opportunities for us to open more restaurants and bars. You can never have enough restaurants and bars, especially when you are growing your tourism product in a way that ensures that there is no seasonality that exists. And I will explain what I mean by that. Tobago has 2 distinct markets, a domestic market and an international market. And peak time for our domestic market is literally from April to October, because now that we've placed the October Carnival in the latter part of October, what it has done is extended our domestic period, which would naturally have ended somewhere in September with the last long weekend, which would happen around Republic Day. And then our active winter season begins late October into November and goes until April. And during that winter season, where we are getting the bulk of our international traffic, because we have winter flights from Germany and we have 2 flights on BA, we are getting our UK market and our German market coming in mainly between the months of October and April. And we also have our cruise ship season taking place between the months of October and April. So when that international market naturally dips and wanes around April, because now it's hot sun time, people are going back to the spring, people are not vacationing in the Caribbean anymore, we now pave the way for our domestic peak period. And July, August is the height of that peak. You can't get tickets to come to Tobago. You can't get a boat ticket to come to Tobago. People on standby for days. Those are things that we are fully aware are happening in the space. So we have to look at what is happening in the market, and we have to tailor our products to suit what the market requires. And again, this is the opportunity for the private sector to step up and for us to collaborate in terms of what are the things that we can do in partnership to continue to welcome thousands of visitors to our shores on a monthly basis, whether they're coming from foreign destinations, whether they're coming from regional destinations, or whether they're coming from Trinidad. So I would like to see the conversation not just center around the opportunities that are available for a Tobago October Carnival, but we have to have wider conversations about what are the opportunities throughout the year and how are we exploiting those opportunities throughout the year for our benefit. The private sector is going and growing, and I think that it continues to give opportunity for us to grow our tourism products and to offer value-added services that have not been present before.
Right.
It's just for us to continue those conversations.
Right. And there are persons who often, you would hear them saying, well, I didn't know that there was an opportunity in this area. Are there calls for proposals that would be going out for these events to ensure that there's equal opportunity across the board for persons to get involved?
Well, that process in terms of the October Carnival was done. It was done in July. Those calls went out and people submitted proposals for their events, and that process is now closed because definitely you appreciate that we're coming to the end of the financial year. So there is an obligation on us to ensure that we get our budgets in before, so that we are fully aware of what kind of support is going out for private sector-led initiatives. But there is no restriction on people sending proposals throughout the year for whatever they would like to see happen. They can send it to the division, they can send it to Festivals Commission, they can send it to TTAL, they can send it to TPAC, depending on what activity they want to do. There is no blackout period with respect to us accepting proposals and having conversations about partnerships. So it's just simply for persons to write and express their interest and for us to get an idea of what you're interested in, and then we will take it from there.
All right, excellent. And finally, as we wrap up this discussion, especially specifically on infrastructural development where tourism is concerned, we know that a lot of time, effort, energy, and resources were placed into the Manta Lodge Hotel and Dive Center. Can you tell us where we are with that? Are we now open for bookings? Can we go spend a weekend at Manta Lodge already?
So Manta Lodge will be officially opened in September, and when that date is confirmed, when I return, obviously that would be put out and the media would be invited to cover the official opening. We had a handing over ceremony last year in February of 2023, where the contractor UDCOT handed over Manta Lodge to the Tobago House of Assembly. However, subsequent to that handing over, a lot of defects were discovered, and we had to go back in and do some remedial works. So we had to have EIDCOT, which is under the Tobago House of Assembly, go back in and do some remedial works. They were tasked with getting the facility ready to be opened. I can say that right now staff has been hired. They have been training them for the last few months. They have been going through their paces in terms of getting the hotel ready to take an influx of bookings for the winter season. We have been doing some test runs and some soft kind of activities to get the hotel in use before we officially open. So I'm just simply happy that we're at the place where the facility is now opened and ready to accept business. And for us, this is a very important step in terms of adding some quality rooms to our room stock. And 20 rooms, even though it might sound small for some people, that is plenty for us. And I think that it's just one small step that would lead to larger steps, and for us to encourage more of these boutique hotel type developments which align with Tobago's aesthetic. So I'm simply excited for us to get to the place where we can have Manta Lodge open and accepting business.
Excellent. And even as we wrap up, is there anything that you want to tell Tobagonians, specifically when it comes to misinformation on social media that we saw going on with that Strawberry redevelopment facility, and anything that we can look forward to from you?
Honest with you, I'm at this place where I really want to be able to understand that this administration has your best interests at heart. We're not in the business of trying to hide what we are doing. It's almost impossible to hide what you're doing in Tobago. When we ask people to come to consultations, we want to have honest and open conversations. If you tell us you want a waterfall, we will draw a design with a waterfall. But it's unfair to tell us you want a waterfall and then go back and say you don't want a waterfall. So for us, we know that we will get a million different opinions as to what development should look like. And yes, it is our job to sift through all of those recommendations, all of those requests, and come with a design that pleases the majority of the people who have been part of the process. And I want you guys to just simply trust the process. Trust that we have your best interests at heart. Trust that we cannot make a move without your say-so. Trust that we will come to you with the truthful information to get from you your honest feedback so that the process going forward is one where everybody is comfortable. Do not give in to the temptation to listen to people who have nothing to do with the matter being discussed. There are ways and means to get official information. We have always made information available publicly with respect to Store Bay. We put up those initial renderings in the office of the facility manager, so anybody could have passed and seen it. So it's not a secret. It's not something that we are hiding. We are just going through the process, and we felt that we had to have this conversation with our internal stakeholders before we went to the public, because we did not want a situation where we went to the public and the internal person say, but nobody consulted with us and nobody brought us anything to approve before this went out to the public. So we are still talking to our internal stakeholders. We will continue continue to talk to our internal stakeholders. And if it takes 100 iterations to get the right design, it's better we measure twice and cut once. So I just encourage persons to participate fully in the processes. No suggestion is a bad one. No recommendation is a ridiculous one. We will take note of all the concerns. We will try to allay the fears as far as humanly possible. But definitely, please understand that we really do have to do what we have to do to help develop Tobago. And this project is just the start, and we hope that it leads to other development that certainly raises the standard of this destination that we call our home and that we love.
And finally, we are nearing the end of this term in office. Do you think that this project would be completed or just started before the next THA election?
So the initial design, based on the information that the project managers indicated to us, is that the project could be done in one phase or it could be done in phases. And we did indicate to the internal stakeholders that if we wanted to do the project in one phase, an ideal timeline would be something like 9 months. And if it's being done in phases, that will stretch that timeline to 18 months. But it is not up to us to determine whether we take a one and done approach or if we spread it over different phases. At the end of the day, we will try to do what the stakeholders want, what they're comfortable with. So that is why I said we're still going through that process, so that the second design or the third design or the fourth iteration of this design may give us some latitude that the first initial rendering does not. It may give us the opportunity to phase the project in such a way that we don't have to close the facility, because the reality of the situation is that you will cross any number of peak periods with a project of this size. We have the Tobago October Carnival in October. We have cruise ship season coming up. We have February Carnival, where we get the influx of visitors who are running away from Trinidad and then who are coming for cool down. April, we get the Easter crowd. Every long weekend, people are in Tobago. July, August is peak period. And if we keep delaying development, it means that we will never get started, because we will always say, well, we have peak period coming up. So again, we are still talking to the stakeholders. We are still tweaking the designs to see how best we can ensure that there is not too much disruption to their daily living and their daily lives and their ability to generate an income in this space. We are looking at ways at how we can even look at temporary accommodation if we have to do a one and done type arrangement. But it is only when we are finished with that process we can definitely come out and say, okay, this is how the development is going to go.
Understood, and thank you so much for bringing clarity for us this morning, and thank you for your time. Thank you so much to our audience for sticking with us this morning. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, thank you and have a great day.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise.